Welcome to the Gemini new moon. Be ready for opportunity. Now, if you want to read about the Gemini new moon, I'm back writing my newsletters and my blog. You can go here to my blog and read all about the Gemini new moon. Also, if you want to know what the Gemini new moon means for you personally, go to my May astrology forecast. I go into detail of how the new moon will be affecting you based on your sun sign or your moon sign or your ascendant rising sign. So this is a general overview for all of us because it is affecting all 12 signs. We all have Gemini somewhere. There are 12 dimensions to God consciousness when we look at the astrology, and we understand life from an astrology perspective. There are 12 houses, 12 constellations. So everyone has Gemini somewhere in their chart, unless it's intercepted, which means then you have karma with your Gemini. And that's another story we won't go into here. We're going to focus on the Gemini new moon, May 28th. Woohoo! And this is when the sun and the moon come together every month and unite and seed the next 30-day cycle. So sun, male energies, moon, female energies merge and initiate our next 30-day cycle. I love Gemini energy. It rules my 11th house of fun and friends and goals and hopes and wishes. It's 11 signs from Leo. So wherever Gemini is in your chart is where you want to be more curious, you want to be more interested, you want to, variety is the spice of life. You want to have variety in your life wherever Gemini lands in your natal chart. So Gemini is fun, they're witty, they're smart. That's why I love them as friends. I love working with them because they can articulate very quickly for me what's going on with them, what they're interested in, where they want to go, their goals. And so they're a lot of fun to work with. You know, the challenge with Gemini is they can be, superficial. They can stay on the surface, the conscious mind surface. Gemini rules the third house like Mercury. Mercury, the messenger, is their ruling planet. They rule the third house, and the third house has to do with the conscious mind or the lower mind. The ninth house has to do with the higher mind, higher consciousness, spirituality. And so, yes, they rule a very important part of life, which is speaking, writing, teaching, formulating, communicating. And they can just stay right there without going deep. And so for the Gemini, you always want to be figuring out what your truth is. So in other words, because you're the master salesman, because you're the master teacher, Geminis, you'll find them in sales, you'll find them wherever communication skills are required and where you have to have the ability to work well with other people. They can sell snow to Eskimos, they can sell milk to cows. Geminis have an incredible ability to mutate and become what's ever around them. They also make great actors as well because of that skill. So in other words, if they get with the atheist and they're hanging with the atheist, next thing you know, the Gemini's an atheist. Or if they're hanging with the Buddhas, they're Buddha today. But then when they get with, the New Agers, they're New Agey. And so for Gemini, for you, it's about what's right for you. So in other words, you don't want to adapt to such a level where you become what's ever around you. You want to hone in on what your truth is and stick by it. So it means going deeper. And that's not always, where Gemini wants to go, or where you want to go, wherever Gemini is in your chart. And so, so pay attention to that, yes, it's wonderful to be light and funny, and that's why they're considered the butterfly of the zodiac, because they can flit around from experience to experience, but not really digging in deep, And Sagittarius can do that too. You know, Sagittarius is the flip side of Gemini. You know, both of them can be superficial, right? Because Sagittarius can be just like, yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, whatever you want. Without like really going, uh-oh, I just committed to this and this and this, and I agreed with this and this and this, and I don't believe in any of that. And I'm not available. And so there is that tendency with both of the signs to, you know, cruise on the upper level without digging in deep to the source and really connecting to your soul, your inner being, and what you really stand for. So I love the energy though. You know, sometimes it's so heavy, it's so intense, especially with that grand cardinal cross that's been at us for months. It's kind of nice to hang out, be superficial. You know, it's kind of nice to cruise the surface and not go deep all the time, right? How are you? Fine. How are you? Fine. Good. That's enough for me today. I don't need to know anymore. And so Gemini is the sign of the twins, and the twins represent the duality. And we all have that in our consciousness. It's the dual type of mind where you can see both sides of a question. So you may find yourself experiencing some of this duality at the new moon this week. And remember, this moon is on until we have the new moon in Cancer. And Neptune, which represents your highest ideals. Neptune represents your ideal relationship, your ideal job, your ideal living location, your ideal work setup. Whatever your ideals are, and that's unique to each soul. However, Neptune doesn't show you how to achieve those. That's Saturn's job. Saturn is the master builder. Saturn is the one that helps you build the ladder to your dreams or the road to your dreams through hard work, through patience, through perseverance, through tenacity. Saturn rewards those things. Neptune rules the movie industry, and you are the star of your movie. You are the star of your life. You are the sun center of your universe, and we're all rotating around you. You are a master creator. You are creating your reality through your perception. There is no reality, and that's what Neptune's come to show us. There's no reality, there's only perception of reality. We all have our own filters. Okay, so we have this fabulous new moon, 7 degrees Gemini, 21 minutes, being squared by Neptune at 7 degrees 33 minutes, and Neptune is direct. So Neptune, which represents God consciousness, and consciousness that's beyond our human mind comprehension. That's why we get into so much hot water with Neptune. You know, when Pluto's on you, you know everything's breaking down. When Saturn's on you, you know you're not going anywhere. You're too tired. But when Neptune's around, you're in a movie. You're the star of the movie. Only no one told you you were in a movie. And so what happens is you begin to believe the fantasy. You begin to believe what people tell you. You begin to believe the hype, right? The emperor has no clothes. Neptune square the sun. Who's going to tell the emperor? Not me. And so Neptune squaring the sun and the moon, and that means this is an energy where, you know, we can be deluded, we can be deceived, we can be misguided. Now, yes, others can deceive us, but they can't deceive us unless we deceive ourselves, right? Self-deception, self-delusion. And so, you know, so there's an edge with this new moon in that, you know, it's Gemini. We're buzzing now. Spring is like blooming in every direction. Summer's a month away, less than a month away. Woohoo! In the Northern Hemisphere. And so life is growing and we're getting busy. You know, Gemini rules that third house of activity. Get out in the community, get out in the social media, network, party, socialize, you know, and that's a fabulous energy. But Neptune squaring it, which on a human level can get you into hot water because you can believe the hype. You can believe the promises. You can believe the fantasies. Neptune rules the music industry, the movie industry. It rules creativity. It rules spirituality. It rules illusion. And so you don't want to get caught up in the fantasy of your desire. You want to step back and go, okay, I'm seeing this. However, I am not going to believe it until I physically have it in my hands. In other words, don't go by what people promise. Go by what people do. Don't see people for who you want them to be. That's the challenge with Neptune. It's love's illusion. We project onto the other person. We project onto them our ideal man, our ideal woman, which is a projection. It's my inner male I'm projecting onto the man. Or for the men, it's your inner Venus that you're projecting onto the woman. So there's always like 4 people present when 2 people fall in love. And so, you know, and God created it this way so we get together and procreate. Otherwise, there'd be no species on the planet. So it has a purpose. However, it's the falling in love state which isn't real until that melts away, and then you begin to see the real person, and that's when real love begins, is when you really see the person and you love them and you make that commitment to love. So we've got this, you know, Neptunian energy going on here, fantasy world, promises, promises. And so it's very wise to be aware that that potential is there for all of us, and to just don't get caught up in it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, recognize, you know, you're fantasizing about this, you know, however, the reality is I'm here. And, you know, so, you know what I mean? Like, here's where I am. Okay, here's where I am. Here's where I want to go. Okay, so keep the dream, right? But you have to take action steps to get there, and people have to follow through, right? It takes 2 people to make a relationship, you know? And so be aware of that. Is you may have desire for something or someone, however, what is their behavior demonstrating for you? Are they in it as you are? Do they want what you want? You know, and you know, what is the lessons here? So Neptune likes to bring lots of lessons of discernment, and to teach us that our human mind can only go so far. There are levels of God consciousness and spirituality we will never fully understand until we ascend into higher consciousness. And that's okay. We don't have to know everything. We don't have to know how the universe works, or, you know, who's God, what's it all about. As long as it works for you, you know who you are. And your relationship to your higher power is dialed in. That's what matters. And so enjoy the Neptune, but realize, you know, you're in a movie and you are the star of the movie, and we're not sure how the movie's gonna, you know, we don't know the ending yet. Now, the way out of this Neptunian fog and dream time is Mars. Mars is direct now. And Mars is also aspecting the sun and the moon. Mars is trining harmonious energy flow with the sun and the moon. So that's, you know, so the universe is saying your way out is use Mars like a sword and cut through the baloney, cut through, you know, the bullshit, and take action. Right? Take action. Because when you take action, you move the energy. You know? So if you're sitting there and you're wondering about something or someone, ask. Ask the question. What are your intentions here? You know, what, you know, and so that way you're taking action, and you're going to cut right through all of the promises, or all the lovely words that people can use to seduce us. And so Mars is direct. Mars is moving forward. And Mars is in gorgeous aspect here with the sun and the moon, giving you the energy to do what you need to do. And, you know, it's like stay awake. You know, it's like stay awake. Don't go unconscious because you're so caught up in the fantasy and the dream that you are, you know, not looking at what you're doing or what others are doing. And so Mars is, you know, that cup of coffee after we've been out drinking wine all night with Neptune. And it's good. Now, another way out, and which is really good news too, is Saturn in Scorpio is forming a gorgeous grand water trine with Jupiter almost at 20 degrees Cancer now, and Chiron, the wounded healer, at about 18 degrees Pisces. So we've got the water element, which is soothing and healing and calming and nourishing and nurturing. So it's God saying, I love you. The universe loves you. The universe has your back. And if you use the Neptune to create, be creative, to dream, and to continue to dream big, to spiritually merge with me, I am your God, your creator, merge with me, then you will come up higher in vibration. You will have tremendous insight and understanding. You'll be more creative than ever. And you won't get into hot water. Where we get into hot water is we, believe what people tell us, oh, give me this money and you can make trillions of dollars, with my internet company. Of course. And so if something seems too good to be true, it is. And so the way out with Neptune always is through your creativity, through your meditation, through your spirituality, communing with nature, communing with source. That's how you use Neptune. Now, the master builder, Saturn, is in harmonious energy flow with the master strategist, Jupiter. So you can make your dreams real. And this energy is going to be on, through most of June. They're going to be hooking up here all the way through June. And so you can use this energy to, make the life you want, create the life you want. If you're being practical, if you're doing the hard work, if you're being determined, if you are balanced in your emotions, okay? Jupiter and Cancers, we want to be balanced in our emotions, right? We don't want to be too, emotional, yet, we want to be taking care of ourselves so we feel good, and we, come to the table, we come to meet with other people, and we're showing up as our best self because we're utilizing this wonderful grand water trine, which the universe is saying, I'm healing you from all the intensity, all the rapid growth we've all been going through. Some of you have been really going through, big changes and just, immense growth in such a short cycle. It can be exhausting. So don't be in a hurry. That's another message with this new moon is don't be in a hurry for anything, because we don't really know if it's true, and we probably won't know until these new moons really starts to separate away from Neptune. When the sun is at least another 5 degrees away from it. And the moon will move faster, of course. The moon will be in Cancer in a couple of days, by the 30th, and you can start getting clarity then. But, there's a lot of mystery around this energy. However, Creator always gives you the way out whenever you're being challenged by something. And the way out is through the Mars and through the Water Grand Trine, which is about healing you, nourishing you, nurturing you, taking care of you. And so you can use this energy to heal yourself, to empower yourself. And don't be in a hurry, because Mercury, the messenger, is right at the end, at the new moon. Mercury is at 29 degrees, 34 minutes, Gemini, at the new moon. And Mercury is going to go into Cancer on the 29th. And then it's going to retrograde. So it goes into Cancer, gets up to about 3 degrees Cancer, and then it retrogrades back into Gemini and on the 17th of June. So it retrogrades back into Gemini on the 17th, and it'll be camped out there till, it goes direct July 1st. So June is a wonderful time to take a vacation. It's a wonderful time to play and to dream and to take it slow, not be in a hurry. Okay. Venus is also very important here at the new moon, because Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and abundance, is at 29 degrees, 39 minutes, Aries. So Venus moves into Taurus, right after the new moon. So on the 28th, later that day, Venus jumps into her home sign, Taurus, which is about your true values. Now, I did a lot of work around the True Values program, and you can get it here. It's a great program, because when you align with your core values, you will be powerful. You will be successful. Don't let society tell you who you are. Don't let the television, don't let the corporations. You decide who you are based on your core values, what truly matters to you. And when you align with that, you are the master of your destiny. Doesn't matter what the planets are doing. Yeah, sometimes they give us a headache. Sometimes, they are great. The energy's, just easy, However, if you're aligned with your core values, you're always on track. You're always on path. You're always moving ahead. And that's the goal. And of course, the communication program, I have that here, and there for you, is the communication. This is an excellent program because your communication style says everything about you. And you want to amp up your skills in communication because that will increase your income and it will attract to you the love you want, better friends, whatever it is your heart desires. So Gemini is here to teach us that, be a great communicator. Look at your style of speaking. Look at your style of listening. People, it's so incredibly attractive when people feel heard. It is amazing. You can have family members, you can have all kinds of things. That doesn't even mean they're listening to you. And when they do listen, they have an agenda. But when you get with a coach or when you get with someone who's really listening to you, to your soul, to your higher self, to your heart, to your wishes and desires, you really feel heard. And that is so attractive. So learning how to be present with people, really hear them so that they feel heard by you. That's a Gemini skill, and it is valuable. So I have the tools here for you. All you got to do is take advantage of them. Now, Mercury's going to go retrograde June 7th through July 1st. Go here and use Navigating Mercury Retrograde. I like that it's mostly in Gemini because I think it's going to be easier. The first few days in Cancer, it'll be interesting. We'll be dealing with our emotions. We'll be dealing with emotional issues with family or friends, and then it jumps back into Gemini, which it rules Gemini, so it loves being in Gemini. And even though we'll be dealing with Mercury retrograde, I think it's going to be easier. It's not going to be as challenging as some of the retrogrades were last year in all the water signs. Having the Mercury retrograde in the air signs is easier, I think. With Mercury retrograde in Gemini, and then in October it'll be retrograde in Libra. It was already retrograde in Aquarius. It is, I think, an easier time of navigating, and you have to do what you have to do. If you get a new job offered under the Mercury retrograde, take it, right? You can always change it later. If you need to move, or you got a really good opportunity to buy a house or do something really exciting, just read the fine print really carefully. Make sure you understand what's being asked of you. You don't want any surprises later because you were in a hurry and you were excited and you didn't look at things. And so if you're doing that, you can navigate this just fine, and there are opportunities here. The Gemini new moon message is be ready for opportunities. Don't get ready, be ready. And this way, as an opportunity comes up, you can seize it. So we have this window open here before Mercury retrogrades on the 7th. So Mars is direct, Venus is in her home sign, so Mercury is still direct right now, even though it's getting ready to slow down. So there's this window of opportunity to take action and make things happen. And it's a wonderful time to do it. It's a wonderful time for you to get out, network, socialize, really amp up your third house, really amp up your Gemini, amp up your Mercury, be a wonderful messenger. And you're going to have a great time. You're going to be able to ride the wave of Neptune instead of getting caught into the undertow of the illusions. And, if you're not in a hurry, right, then you have the advantage, right? Take your time with decision making. Take your time for long-term planning. And, but there's many opportunities coming in right now. The action, you can feel it. It's in the air. There's a buzz in the air. It's life is getting busy and things are taking off. So Have a great new moon!